Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Minsky from Metal Gear Central here on the phone with Paul Eiding, the Colonel. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm good.
What we're going to do is we're going to go with 19 questions, and Paul's going to answer them for us. All right, first question, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Raised in Cleveland, Ohio. Left there when I was 18. Joined the military. Went to college first. Joined the military. Went to Germany for 3 years. Went back to Ohio. Finally moved from Ohio to Minneapolis to do theater when I was 25. And haven't been back to Ohio. I've been back for visits, but not to live. Lived in Minnesota for 10 years and then moved out to L.A.
And what was your education like?
College at Cleveland State University. And then 4 years there, and then moved on to, I did 1 year there, went into the military, did 3 years from in Germany, and then went back and finished Cleveland State.
Second question, how did you originally become an actor?
Well, I had been, it all started, I'd done shows in high school, and I did a couple of pieces in college, but I was a music major. I was a bass player, and my dream was to play in an orchestra, and in fact, to play in the Cleveland Orchestra, because it was an amazing ensemble. And when I went into the military, I got sent to Germany. I was asked to audition for the Army, it's actually called the Martin Glee Club. It was a men's choir. As a bass player. I auditioned as a bass player and a singer. I got in as a singer, and there I met a bunch of guys who had been actors and singers and professional musicians back in the States. And we used to, after performance, we'd come back and we'd read scripts, we'd read plays, and we'd just do improv, that sort of thing. And it was a large black actor, a wonderful actor, by the name of John Hancock, who has since died, unfortunately. An amazing actor who said, you're good at this. You should look into this instead of music. And when I got back to the States, I did a couple more things in college when I finished up. And I started doing community theater in Cleveland, Ohio, and found it was a nice way to meet girls. I did a lot of musicals, and that's when I started acting. I became a professional actor. I decided acting was my main source of income in 1975, and I haven't done anything since. I've been very lucky. I've had to take another job. I've never been on unemployment. I've worked as an actor the entire time.
That's awesome. Third question, what are some of your interests and hobbies?
My family is my number one interest. It may sound cornball, but it truly is. My wife and I were married 12 years before we had kids, and when we finally had kids, we have two daughters who are exactly 2 years apart. And my interest, our life revolves around them, and it's been exquisite as they grow and learn. We grow and learn, and a lot of my interests have come from them. My major interest now is outside of theater, and I do a lot of writing. Outside of that sort of thing, it's soccer. I am a soccer dad who started coaching when my oldest daughter, who is now 15, when she was 6 years old. And I've coached every year. I've coached two teams every year since my youngest one started playing. And I've actually turned down auditions because it would conflict with a practice. When you have 15 kids depending on you to be there at practice, they went out over some auditions. It doesn't make good business sense, but it makes me feel better to know that I'm there with the kids. I played soccer when I was in the military in Germany, but never as a kid.
Oh.
And I just love the game. I love watching the game. I love coaching it. I love playing it. And that's the big interest right now. It takes a lot of time. We start our soccer season starts in August. It goes through December, and I usually end up coaching either a tournament team or an all-star team. And then we continue until June.
Wow.
So it's a long season.
So it's year-round then.
Yeah, it is, basically.
All right, next question. How did you get the part for Metal Gear Solid?
The woman who was casting it, Chris Zimmerman, she was casting it and directing it, is a woman that I've known since she was an assistant to a wonderful director at Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
By the name of Gordon Hunt. He's Helen Hunt's father.
Oh, really?
He's an amazing man, amazing director. He's just a great guy. And he always encouraged his assistants to learn how to direct. And Chris did.
Yeah.
And she's one of the best, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best voiceover directors, either for animation or for games.
Yeah.
She's fast. She knows how to, in very few words, how to get you to go where she thinks the script should go and to serve the piece. And she helps you find the voice. And I had worked with her on and off over the years on many different projects, from weird, over-the-top cartoon stuff, really silly stuff, to things like The Colonel.
Yeah.
And she called me in. She showed me a picture of what he looked like and asked me to come up with a voice. And that's how it happened. And I always thank Chris Zimmerman for keeping me working.
Yeah. I've always thought that, this is a really side note here, it's kind of off the wall, but I've always thought the Colonel looked like Ron Popeil, the inventor. I don't
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. He just looks so hard-nosed,
Yeah.
I suppose if there was a Ron Popeil with his head sprayed with that dark fake hair,
Yeah.
The electrostatic hair.
Yeah. That's just a side note I'd like to put in. All right. Which game did you enjoy working on the most?
You mean one or two?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one,
Yeah.
although it was a lot more work. I liked the second one. I like what the Colonel. I like the surprises.
Yeah.
That happened with the second one.
I love that.
I like because they didn't let me know. They said, we just have some surprises for you. So I went in. I read it cold.
Oh.
You go into the studio. They give you the script, all your lines, and the second. I'll explain what I like about the second one. First, I like that one because they surprised me. I had no idea what was going on with the Colonel.
Yeah.
I was in the dark just like everyone else was until it happened. And then I said, oh, my goodness. So I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't like it as much because the first time it took a lot longer to do. But we got to act with the other actors.
Oh.
You were in the room like I did my stuff with Snake.
Yeah, David.
Our dialogue, we were both there.
Oh.
And some of it was like that with the second one. Some of it wasn't. There were long stretches where you were by yourself.
Yeah.
And that isn't as satisfying. I like being with the other actor and really interacting with them there, because you can see facial expressions. Hopefully, you hear. You don't see them obviously if you're just listening.
Yeah.
But it really informs my performance when I'm acting with another live actor.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought about that.
Yeah, and it also was the first time. And I had never done anything. I'd done a lot of games,
Yep.
but nothing like Metal Gear. I mean, it was just a huge step above everything else that I had done as far as I was concerned. In quality, in the amount of video studio that there was.
Yeah.
I was just in awe of it, and in awe of the writers. So that's it.
I heard from Chris Randolph that you guys did the first one like a cheap studio, and that you could hear cars drive by occasionally.
Oh, not occasionally. The studio was up against an alley.
Oh.
And on I forget what day it was, either Monday or Tuesday, there was trash pickup, and there were several. Because it was on an alley, you could hear the trash truck as it made a stop on one side of the street and coming around the corner there again, and then it made a huge swing and came into the apartment building that was on the other side of the alley. So you'd say a few lines, and then you'd beep, 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 and then you'd hear the trash, container being picked up. It was horrific. It was funny for a while. I mean, every time it came, we'd just crack up. But then, for the producers and also for the people who own the studio, it wasn't funny anymore because they knew it was costing money.
Yeah.
It took a lot longer because of that. Yeah. Yeah. The second time, it was done at a much nicer studio, Salami Studios. And it's really a good place.
Yeah. Another side thing. What did you think of the Colonel when he started flipping out at the end?
Well, that was it. That was a surprise.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on. They said, "Oh, he starts becoming unglued." Oh, why? And then it was explained to me, like, "Oh, that is so cool."
Yeah, I love the I need scissors 61 thing. That was so funny.
Yeah, I wish I could remember it. I was going to do some of it, but I can't remember it. And obviously, I'm in my car and I don't have it with me. Yeah, that was so weird because I got to do anything I wanted with the voice, and then they treated it. So he was really coming unglued. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Great fun because he's so straight for so long.
Yeah. All right, next one. What do you think of the games, story-wise or gameplay-wise, if you played them?
You know what? I'm going to disappoint a lot of people, but I have not played the games.
You're not the only one, trust me.
Huh?
You're not the only one. Everybody I've talked to besides maybe one didn't play the game.
Well, what happens with me and with my kids, I told you everything revolves around them.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of time. I don't have the time, and I'm of a different generation. I'm an older guy.
Yeah.
So I'm 57 years old.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Pong, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, the basics I can deal with.
Oh.
I'm still barely computer literate, and as for the games, I don't have the requisite patience, that it takes. That I think it takes to really be a good gamer.
Yeah.
And so I've not played them. I've seen clips. I've done a bunch of other things, other games as well.
Yeah.
But again, nothing like, as far as I'm concerned, nothing like Metal Gear.
Oh. Yeah. Well, all the people I've talked to, I think one plays the game. And
Really?
Yeah. I know Dave played the game, and I know Chris Randolph played the game. That's it. So.
Yeah, I know Dave because Dave, he's really into it.
Yeah.
But Quentin didn't?
He said he tried it, and then he just gave up and let his girlfriend's brother or son or something play.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Next one. What do you think of the Colonel?
Well, of course, I always felt being an actor and self-centered, I always felt that the entire game was about the Colonel. I thought Snake was just along for the ride, I'm saying that with my tongue in my cheek. I'll tell you that when I went to do the audition, they told me to think cross between Clint Eastwood and I can't try to remember the other character who's louder than Clint Eastwood, because Clint Eastwood is always been very quiet and very subdued.
Maybe John Wayne. He's loud.
Yeah, they said there were three. There was Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, and not Stallone. Oh, what is his name?
What would he be in?
Not stature-wise, but he's actually on a TV show now. Where they oh gosh, can't remember the guy's name. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it was that kind of. They wanted somebody strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one audition, one read, they wanted a hint of a Southern accent, just a hint.
Oh.
So I did one that was, kind of, it was the Colonel, but he had just a little bit of a Southern accent to him. And then they decided, no, we're not going to go that way.
Yeah.
You
sound like the Colonel regularly, though.
Say what?
You sound like the Colonel regularly, though. So.
Yeah, because what's happening now with my voice. My voice has gotten lower the longer I've coached soccer, and I'm not kidding, because of I coach two teams most of the year, and that's a lot of coaching, a lot of, how do I put this, encouragement from the sideline. All right, I'm not a yeller, but I definitely they definitely know that I'm on the sideline. And right now, my voice is lower because I'm at the point I'm coaching 4 teams. Because we have 2 all-star teams, we have one all-star team, my 2 regular season teams, and what we call a tournament team that's playing over Thanksgiving.
Jeez.
So my voice is a little ragged right now, especially after just coming from an audition.
Yeah. What was the audition for?
It was for, there were 2 different pieces, both commercial things.
Oh, yeah. I remember you told me the other day you had to do a 7-Up commercial.
Yeah. I'm working on a game on Thursday, NFL football.
Oh.
I had auditioned as a coach, and I'd also auditioned as a referee.
Oh.
And I have no idea what I'm going in to do. All I know is that I'm working Thursday.
Oh, do you think the Metal Gear series would make a good film?
I think it would be a wonderful film. I would. There was talk at one point about them doing it as an animated series.
Oh, really?
That was after the first one.
Oh, okay.
There was that was the scuttlebutt. Now, who heard it and how I got it, I don't remember. But I think it would make a wonderful story. I would love it for personal, selfish reasons.
Yeah.
I would hope that it would be either an animated series, really well done, terrific, good animation, or an animated film.
Yeah.
Because if it was a live-action film, this is answering another question, I think, I would not get the role.
Oh. You don't look like him at all?
I don't look like him at all.
Oh.
Should I describe myself?
If you want to.
Yeah. I'm 5'8".
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm 57. Right now I'm looking a little more rugged because I have I have a beard.
Yeah.
It's close-cut beard. For a while I used to cut my hair really short on top, really short, and have a goatee.
Oh. And
for a while I was my on-camera stuff tended to be bad guys, that sort of thing.
Oh. Yeah.
But I'm not what you would consider a physically imposing guy.
Oh. Well, you only see your face because you'd be on the codec. You'd be on the codec, so you'd only see your face.
Yeah. Well, if we did it all that way, except if they make a film, I think they're going to have to do it more than that. They'd have to find some way. But how could they?
Yeah.
It would have to be just a codec. If we do that, you betcha I could do it. If they went that way.
Well, other than yourself, who would you cast for the role?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know who can do me.
We could call it Popeil. You know?
No, he'd want to make some sort of, you know... say what?
I've seen those commercials. He's pretty good. Set it and forget it, man.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to work.
No.
He's got to be one of the richest men in America.
Probably,
you know?
Yeah.
He was, in fact, when I was in Minnesota, I met him because, you know, he started in Minnesota with the Pocket Fisherman. Because I met him at some, I don't know what the function was. I was working at a theater. We're way off the track.
Yeah.
But it was just funny. You know, somebody said, I met the guy, and you know, we said hi, and he was a very nice guy.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, that's one of the richest guys in Minnesota. And I said, what? He said, yeah, it was Ron Popeil. And at that point, it had the Pocket Fisherman and then some Chop-matic or something. Yeah. And he was a laughing stock. Everybody was after this guy because he was so weird with these inventions. And now, of course, he's filthy rich.
Yeah.
And not laughing anymore, except at his hair. You know?
Next question. Was it a very interactive environment on the voice team?
Yeah, you know, like I said earlier, yes and no. The first one, you know, there were a bunch of us there recording together, which was really great.
Yeah.
But with the second one, we had sessions where, you know, there were you know, two of us together, but not as much. There was a lot more time with you just on your own and getting different versions of the line.
Yeah.
And then picking the line, the one that works. The person you interact with more than anyone else is Chris Zimmerman, the director. And she would get, she's very good with handling writers, producers, and actors. Because instead of the producer saying, getting on and saying, okay, Paul, try it this way, and then the director disagreeing and saying, no, I think you should do it this way, everybody has to funnel through her.
Yeah.
And she's real good at that, getting their ideas. So if there's an argument between the two, the writer and the producer, she takes care of that without confusing the actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been in sessions where you'd be getting direction for 3 or 4 different people, and that's not interaction. That's not constructive interaction. That's just getting in the way.
Yeah.
And Chris is very good at that. You know, letting your job be what's important to you, not worrying about everyone's egos.
Yeah.
And it was really smooth. You know, so it was a nice, easy interaction. Yeah, everybody there was just very cool. It was a nice environment.
All right. Let's see. Who did you work with?
Well, David, Q.
Yeah, Quentin. For all you
Quentin.
listening home.
And did a lot of stuff. Oh, what's her name? Kemai.
Yeah.
Have you spoken with Kemai?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, Kemai. Are you talking on this piece?
Huh?
Or you just who have I worked with?
On this piece, yeah.
On this piece, yeah. And of course, my buddy Cam.
Yep.
Cam Clark.
Yeah. Cool guy.
Yeah. He's another wild man.
Was it Jennifer Hale who was in the first one?
Oh, Jennifer, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked a lot with Jen. And the nice thing is I worked with these folks a lot on other projects. We've done cartoon series together.
Yeah.
I've had series with all of them. This was actually the first time I'd worked with Q. No. I'm sorry, I lied. I'd done something else, a couple of other things with Q.
Okay.
But this was the first extended period of time with Q. And it was really, he's another one who was just very creative.
Yeah.
It's really a good group of people. I think that's what sells a game. as far as that's what sells the voice acting. You've got to have people who are bright. You got to have people who know how to improv, because there are those times when they allow you to do that. They allow you to bring your own stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be verbatim. If you're giving directions, do this, do that, do the other thing. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But inside of a scene, when they allow you to have a little freedom, and they did, that makes it live.
Yeah.
So that's that.
All right. A quick side note here. You were in Biodome, and
yeah,
that was actually one of my favorite movies when I was younger.
The frightening thing is this. I have heard that from so many guys and girls your age. It was a huge, and I got to tell you, as an actor, I look at that piece and say, "Oh my goodness, this is so stupid." It's just such a dumb movie, and it is. As an actor,
yeah.
But as a person just saying, "Okay, let's go watch some mindless comedy," it's fun.
Yeah, it's funny.
I've come to that. My daughter saw it for the first time about 5 months ago.
Oh.
And she said, "Dad," because I'd always badmouth, and I said, "It's such a dumb movie." She said, "Dad, it's dumb, but it's really funny."
Yeah. Who were you in that?
So what?
Do you remember who you were in that?
Oh yeah, I only had a very small thing in that, and I'll tell you the reason I got it. I play one of the suits. There's only, I think, 2 scenes.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it is, but I remember they're trying to find some way of. They're going to fire the director of the thing, the guy with the red hair.
Yeah.
And I'm walking down a hallway. I have a beard.
Okay.
I'm in a suit, and I don't remember what I say. But I'm walking down a hall talking with Henry Gibson, who had been a favorite of mine when he was on Laugh-In when I was younger.
Oh.
And I don't even remember what the scene is, but I think we're talking about firing him, getting somebody out of there, trying to find something of getting the guys out of the dome.
Yeah.
But it's just a couple of quick scenes, and that was it. And the reason I'm in the movie, that was a first-time director's movie.
Oh.
A guy that who was at USC Film School did a student project. He did a short film called Irving, and he was like a portfolio piece he wanted to do. And his father, his name is Jason Blum.
Okay.
And Jason directed Biodome. That was his first movie. And Jason, I guess he was 24, 25 when he directed the movie, at the most. He had, as a senior, he did a piece called, a film called Irving, about the first Jewish vampire, black comedy, with Jim Belushi was in it, and a couple other folks. And I played the lead. I played Irving. I got cast as Irving. Now, this was a movie that was basically, these projects you do for free.
Yeah.
All right? You do them for free because you want to give young directors a chance, and they want to work with professional actors instead of just students.
Yeah.
So I was contacted. The casting director knew me. He said, "Listen, this guy is really bright. He's been around. His father is head of the most important." Yeah, stop the tape. He's in with one of the most important law firms in town, and the kid is really good.
Yeah. So
come in, read for it, see what you think. So I did. I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And it was a fun piece. I had a great time doing it. He was a real bright young guy.
Yeah.
And then a year later, he calls me and says, "Paul, I got this movie. I've got to take all these other people, blah, 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 blah. But, there's this little role. You want to come in and do it?" And I said, "Sure. I'll come in. Yeah, why not?" So I went in, and I was only there a couple of days, and shot it. Had a great time. It was fun working with Jason again. And I've since worked with him on another movie. Anyway, that's a lot more material than you ever cared to know, but that's how I ended up doing Biodome, and my daughter thinks it's incredibly funny, too. And you know what? So do I. I think it's just silly. I've done worse.
Yeah. Another movie that I loved, too, was the Transformers movie, which you were in.
That one I had fun with.
Yeah.
Although that was another one that was irritating because they instead of using just the actors from the piece and adding some other voices, they decided they wanted to have quote-unquote names, okay?
Yeah.
So they got Judd Nelson to do a voice. Okay, I forget which one he was.
Isn't he the guy from the Breakfast Club?
Yeah. Okay? And he's never done voiceover.
He's apparently Hot Rod Rodimus Prime.
Right. He was Hot Rod. And the problem was, he was okay. He was a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening was, whenever he was there, it always took 4 or 5 times longer.
Oh.
Because he didn't know how to work a mic.
Yeah.
He would do all this gesticulating with his body, which we do, but he would put the energy in the body and not in the voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just made the work a lot harder. And the other actors who had been on the series, because I did the series as well.
Yeah.
We knew what we were doing. We knew our characters. We knew what was going on, and we were actors.
Yeah.
Where he was an actor, but he'd never done voiceover, so he didn't know what the heck he was doing.
Huh.
So it was a little bit of a. I think some of the guys were kind of irritated because he would arrive in his limo every day. They sent a limo to pick him up.
Huh.
And the guy, I remember a couple of guys saying, some of the old grizzled veterans, they said, "Well, geez, he has a limo. They ought to at least know what he's doing."
Huh.
Yeah.
It says here Eric Idle was in it too. Did you work with him?
No, he wasn't there when we did it. I think they shot his stuff, recorded his stuff somewhere else.
Oh.
Orson Welles, who did The Planet.
Yeah.
We never got a chance to work with him either. He worked alone.
Yeah.
He only worked alone, and that was awesome. We were just leaving when he would come in.
He died shortly after that, though.
Most of ours.
Yeah.
Locally, and he's talented as a director, writer, actor.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. We had a good time with it. You like that one?
Oh yeah, it was a good movie. I enjoyed the Transformers.
Yeah. So did I.
Yeah. All right. Have you ever met Mr. Kojima?
That was the coolest thing about doing the second one.
You got to meet him?
He was there.
Oh, really?
And he signed, he had this one sheet promoting the game coming out, and he signed it for me.
Whoa.
He signed it for everybody. That was part of the deal. They gave it to us.
Yeah.
And I've got it stuffed away with my memorabilia.
Oh.
Yeah, that was very cool. Very quiet, didn't speak. I don't think he spoke much English at all.
He doesn't. I don't think.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I just thought he's brilliant.
I'd also imagine that Scott Dolph is there. Is that his translator?
Yep.
Yep. So.
Yep.
All right. Next question. Would you like to be in the next game if there is one?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to be in.
Well, there is going to be one.
I just find them fascinating. I find the way they construct the game ahead of most other games out there.
Yeah.
At least most other games that I've worked on. They're just much more sophisticated. I'd love to.
Next question. Are you in any way like your character?
Other than being in the military, let me think here. In that I do enjoy directing, helping people, push them around and whatnot, and tell them what to do. That part of and instructional.
Yeah.
And but I am human though. I'm a really I'm flesh and blood.
Yep.
So I guess there's a bit of a difference. But, you know, I'd love to think of myself as being tough and rough and tough, but nah, not really.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What are some other projects you've worked on besides the Metal Gear series?
Oh, God. I would have to go online and look up everything, you know, because I can't remember all the stuff. There are tons of other games. You know, you probably know better than I do.
Yeah, I have the list right here, actually.
Yeah, the Diablo series and StarCraft.
Yep.
Warcraft. Some of them aren't on there.
A Bug's Life. Tarzan.
Oh yeah, I worked do voices for Tarzan. Do a lot of Disney stuff.
Yeah.
And worked on did voices for Little Nemo.
Oh.
I mean, for Finding Nemo, not Little Nemo. That was an old movie.
Oh.
Finding Nemo. Monsters Inc.
The Smurfs.
Yeah. When I first came out here, I was on on the Smurfs as Chimney Sweep Smurf. Spoke with a Cockney accent. Of course, the Transformers, the GoBots, Sky Commanders. Even did the Jetsons.
Yeah, that's right.
They brought the Jetsons around for the second time.
Additional voices.
Did a lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yeah.
So voice-wise, things that, you know, somebody, my daughter was online and came up with this list of things that I had forgotten that I had done, and some things that I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
And movies, I do film and TV.
See, you were on West Wing, Chicago.
West Wing. In fact, it was just repeated the other night.
Drew Carrey show, which could you give that backstory there?
Say what?
You told me about a backstory online. Could you just tell me how that happened?
Right. I did Drew Carrey. I went in to do a Drew Carrey, and who, by the way, is one of the most generous guys in this business. He's truly a kind guy who knows how lucky he is and hasn't forgotten that he's just a regular guy from Cleveland, Ohio. We're both from Cleveland.
Yeah.
When I got the gig, when he found out I was from Cleveland, we started talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Cleveland Indians and the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
We had a lot in common that way, except that he went to school on the other side of town, one of our competing school with ours. And can I tell you a quick story about Drew?
Yeah, go ahead.
You sure? Okay, cool. Well, number one, it has the best craft services of any show I've ever been on. I've done a lot of movies, done a lot of shows, been around for a while. Mm-hmm. It's craft services, meaning all the goodies that they have to eat when you're not on stage. It's no wonder he can't lose weight, because they had cooks back there cooking you anything you want for breakfast, lunch, dinner, any kind of sweet that you want. It was just amazing. I just wanted to, I didn't care about working on camera, just, I could hang around there and eat. But the week I was there, 2 weeks before that, one of the grips, one of the guys who works, moving cable around for one of the cameras, had an accident, and he was okay, but his car was totaled. Okay, he had no vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, Drew, they had just been renewed for, and he drove a, what is that hot little monster? The Z. ZX. I don't know. He had this hot little sports car. Okay. It was about 3 years old. Well, when they got renewed, the network bought Drew a brand new Porsche. Bought him a brand new Porsche. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
While we were, I guess it happened the day before I started shooting. He called the grip over to him and said, I understand you're without a car. He said, yeah, it's tough, but it's fine, we'll work it out. And he said he gave him the keys to his car,
Whoa.
the little sports car that was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And he said, cool. This is really, really helpful. Hopefully I'll be getting a rental in a day or two. And Drew said, no, I don't want, no. No, it's yours.
Whoa.
The guy was like, what? He said, the network gave me this new car. I don't need another car. He gave the guy his automobile.
Whoa.
You don't hear stories like that enough in Hollywood. Okay, you hear all the bad stuff and what jerks everybody are. Now, maybe Drew may have changed. He may be going through his jerk state now. I don't think so. I've got a friend who plays piano for him on the improv show.
Whose line is it anyway?
Yeah, Laura.
Oh, Laura Hall.
Yeah,
that's a good show.
And
Love that show.
huh?
Good show. Love that show.
It's great. It's great. I love it. And that's how I started doing, not on that show, obviously, but doing improv back in Minnesota. And Laura still says, he's just incredibly generous. Anyway, after we shot the show, I did a guest star. We finished the show, and when you wrap on Tuesday night, you shoot with an audience on Tuesday. He takes the whole cast out, and cast and crew, and he pays for everything.
Wow.
There's a place called Dalt's where you go and you have your drinks and snacks and whatnot, sandwiches, and he pays for everything.
Wow.
He's just
like a really nice guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
And
those are the guys I want to see him working all the time.
Yeah.
I would never begrudge somebody like him from having two shows on the air at one time. Yeah. God bless him.
Did you meet Ryan Stiles?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
Oh, he's extremely funny.
Yeah.
And over tall.
Yeah.
But just another one who's just a great guy. What you see on that show is especially on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
You can't hide who you are when you're doing improv.
No.
You really can't. You can do these little weird characters. But the thing I loved about when I was doing improv all the time, I worked at a place called the Brave New Workshop in Minnesota, which was like Second City.
Yeah.
And when you do improv, you can't totally hide behind a character.
Yeah.
You're there, and the audience can see you, and all your flaws as well as all your, the brilliant parts of your personality. They can pick up everything. So what you see on that show, I think, is pretty much who you got. Ryan's. I didn't do it. All my work was with Drew, but around the set, he was always there.
Yeah, I used to watch there's a lot of reruns on Comedy Central, the really old British show with him on there. Oh, they're so great, so funny.
The old what show?
The old Whose Line.
Oh yeah, you mean the one in England or the ones?
Yeah, the one in England with Clive Anderson and.
Right, and Mike, my buddy Mike. What's Mike's last name? Mike, other M. Irish or Scottish. He's a real heavy set guy. Usually with a beard.
Yeah, I know he's in Office Space, which was just a great movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Just good guys.
Yeah. I'll find his name real quick. Michael McShane.
There you go.
Yep.
You're good.
Yeah. It's pretty easy. It's just IMDB.com.
Oh, got it.
What a plug there. I don't know if they start sending me stuff now, but that'll happen. Okay. Yeah. And
Yeah, Mike and I belong to the same theater group out here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What group would that be?
The Antaeus Theater Company. Antaeus, some people say it, but it's a classical theater group.
Oh.
We do right now. We're developing a piece about the life of Charles Dickens.
Oh.
And Mike is one of the characters, and he actually does a couple of different characters, and so do I.
Oh, yeah.
A good guy.
Okay. Next question. Which actor, actress, and/or director would you like to work with most, and why?
Oh, boy. Catherine Zeta-Jones, because she's fine. wife wondering where the heck I am.
Huh.
Spielberg, because he's brilliant. These are all obvious ones.
Yeah.
I would like to work with Emma Thompson too, because I think she's a wonderful English actress.
What's she from?
Emma Thompson. Oh God, what has she got on now? I don't know what she's out there now. She did a movie called Sense and Sensibility. I saw her with then her husband Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
When they came to town to L.A., he had a theater company.
Oh.
And they did two Shakespeare, and she played. She did Midsummer Night's Dream, and played this young lady in one, and then she did King Lear the next night, and she played a role that's usually played by a man. They did King Lear, and she played the fool.
Oh.
And she's a very tall lady, but the way she was on stage, one night she was tall, the next night you thought that she was maybe 5'3", just because of the way she carried herself.
Oh.
And she's just an amazing actress. You know who I want to work with in the future?
Yeah. Who?
Who I look forward to acting with in the future in the next year or so. My daughter.
Yeah.
She's going to the Los Angeles County High School for the Performing Arts here.
Yeah.
Not that I'm encouraging anyone in my family to be an actor or actress, because it's a tough job.
Yeah.
Because that's where her heart is. That she's following her heart, and I'm going to support her in that. And I would love to work with her on stage.
Yeah.
I just think it would be so cool. I've got a chance to work with my wife a couple of times, and that was wonderful. I know this is boring because you want to hear famous people.
No way.
Oh, there's tons. Sean Connery I'd love to work with.
Yeah.
I think at the top of the list would be Ian McKellen.
Oh, yeah.
Or any of the guys from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I'm yet to see those. Not a big fan of Lord of the Rings series. I tried reading the Hobbit rather. I couldn't get into it very well. So.
Oh yeah, the Hobbit. It was okay, but I just think the work that the director has done.
But I hear like a million good things about the movie, so it must be good. So
they're phenomenal. The way he's made it accessible, as far as I'm concerned, because they're hard. They were really hard for me to read in college.
Yes.
And now here's my, at the time, 12, 13-year-old kids really hooked into them. Anything that can inspire, any video, any movie that can inspire my children to read is doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. My little cousin, he's 9, and my little brother, who's also 9. No, my little brother's 10. But they're into that whole thing. They read the books. They have the action figures, play video games, etc. So
I'm serious. I didn't read that until I was in college.
I can't read it now.
Yeah, it's just so thick, and I didn't want to. The guy who wrote it was a genius, and he created his own language, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, that seems weird, but
yeah, I couldn't wrap my mind around it then.
No way.
But now these kids can, and it's a lot of it, as far as my daughters are concerned, is inspired by the movies. So anything that can make them want to enrich their mind, it's okay with me.
One of the people that I would like to work with if I became an actor or a writer or whatever would be Quentin Tarantino. He's amazing.
I think it's because of where I'm coming from, and I don't want to think it's just age. Okay?
Yeah.
To me, how do I explain this? I find him now a little redundant.
Oh.
I mean, how many clever ways can I find to kill somebody or let blood out? How many? I think because I've written a bunch of stuff like that. Just really quirky, odd characters who do really weird, nasty things.
Yeah.
I just don't find it anymore. I thought the Pulp Fiction. I didn't want to go see Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like it. I got to be honest.
I think
but it blew me away. I loved it.
Yeah, me too. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Loved it. But since then, I don't know. He just hasn't done it for me.
Have you seen Kill Bill?
Yeah.
I love that movie. That was awesome.
Yeah. See,
It was different, which is something that I liked, because you don't see those movies now, like the 70s kung fu movies anymore.
Yeah, but there's a reason. There are a lot of people who feel they shouldn't have been done back then.
Oh.
But it just, I'm just not a fan of his.
Oh.
I loved Pulp Fiction, and like I said, I didn't want to like it because he's just little. Sometimes I find him just being quirky for quirky's sake.
Yeah.
And when to me, if it draws attention to itself for being quirky, then I see that as director's intent as opposed to being, honestly from the piece. Anyway, that's just me. That's okay.
Yeah, everybody has different opinions. So.
Yeah. It makes the world go round.
Yeah. He also resurrected John Travolta's career, so whatever.
Big time.
Yeah.
And, big time.
Hopefully he doesn't have to go back to doing Welcome Back, Kotter, the movie.
Hi.
All right, next question. What are some upcoming projects of yours?
I mentioned one, NFL. I don't even know what exactly it is, but it's a video game.
Yeah.
It's a game. I forgot what format it's for.
Oh.
But they just told me it's called NFL.
Just NFL.
And I don't know yet if I'm doing the one of the coaches or one of the referees or both.
Yeah.
Because they wanted me to do two different voices. So one voice was a lower, gruffer voice. The other one was a little bit higher with a hint of the South in it. That's what they wanted for the referee.
Yeah.
And they're all often you'll go in and, like on Diablo, I did 2 or 3 different voices for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got that happening. I'm doing a musical out here right now.
Okay.
In rehearsals for a musical called written by George Gershwin, music by George Gershwin.
Oh.
It was actually written back in the 30s called Of Thee I Sing, the political satire.
Oh.
And it's funny how apropos it is for today's world, and it was written in the 30s.
Yeah.
Because they take some really funny jabs at France.
Oh.
And here we are today having problems with America, in France, still.
Yeah.
So that's a very funny musical. And then I'm working on with this theater company, the Antius Theater Company.
Yeah.
We are developing it would be 7 to 8 hour piece, theatrical piece, based on the life of Charles Dickens.
Oh. Yeah.
It would be years ago. There was a theater piece that started at the Royal Shakespeare in London called Nicholas Nickleby. It was coincidentally, it's a Charles Dickens written piece, Nicholas Nickleby.
Yeah.
And it was done with a company of 30 or 35 actors, and it was done you could either see it in one day, and it took approximately 7 hours. They did like 3.5 hours during the daytime, and you'd take a dinner break and come back in the evening for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Or you could do it on different nights. And that's the kind of piece this is. It's really ambitious, and it's great fun because you get to do several different characters.
Yeah.
And that's what's keeping me busy right now.
Oh.
With the different voiceover commercial jobs here and there.
Oh. All right. Much, Mr. Eiding. It's truly been an honor to speak with you.
It's been my pleasure. Made it easy. And I hope I haven't bored you.
No way.
Because I do ramble.
Do you have anything to say to your fans out there?
Just keep listening. keep listening. The reason we do it, the reason I'm an actor is not